This is the halftime show with Omar on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. The halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio, live in the heart of Sharjah. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.net, the Mariah app, or if you're watching us on YouTube. What a show we have in store for you today, because coming up on the show, it's the first time ever. And we've done over 900 episodes, and it's the first time ever we have the following guests on who represent more than just fitness, more than just athletes. We always look at athletes as larger than life. But the challenges and the consistent things they have to battle through is what makes them truly unique. So coming up on the show today, Omar Tom and Katie Larkins will be on the show representing more than just a sport, more than just a competition. World Transplant Games. If you haven't heard about it, you will not want to miss this show, because they have their own jobs, but they're also representing the UAE for the first time ever. And that's what makes it truly unique as well, because each one of them has their own story and their journey. And we're all about the journey here before it gets to the destination. So if you want to find out more, I just recommend that you go get whatever you need to get done for the next couple of minutes, because when they come back on, the extraordinary Katie and Omar will be on the halftime show. And if it's anything to go by, we've been chatting in the back now for the last half an hour, you will not want to miss it. What a show we have in store on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio.
This is the halftime show with Omar on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time, the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio, every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. If you feel the excitement in my voice, it's because it's the first time ever to have the next couple of guests representing more than just sports, and they are fantastic. Got a chance to speak to them in the background. Omar and Katie, welcome to the show.
Yo, thank you for having us.
Thanks so much for being
Excited
here.
to be here, man.
Listen, it's been cooking for a while, but we
Yes.
made it. We crossed that line. And
Finally.
I'm so happy to have you guys here. So thanks so much. Katie, I know you drove all the way from Abu Dhabi to be here.
I did, yeah.
You know, and all the things you guys are doing to make time to jump on the show is an absolute honor. So I'm so happy to have you guys here. You're representing more than just games. You're representing more than the World Transplant Games. You are raising awareness on so many different things. But rather than me, which I've been bragging about it on the show leading up to this, I was gassing up the listeners and telling them I can't wait to have you guys on. Let me hear from you guys. We'll start with you, Katie. So, for example, you do more than just be a team manager for the UAE. You do more than being just an athlete, and you do more than just being a teacher. There's so much you do. How do you manage to fit all that in your schedule?
Very carefully, to be honest. I mean, I am lucky enough to work in a school that has an emphasis on a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
We finish every day at 2 o'clock, and so then I have the rest of the afternoon and the evening to do work on things for Hayat, for the World Transplant Games, for training. And, you know, my schedule is well-organized chaos most of the time.
I'm seeing colors. I'm seeing colors and coordination there.
It's definitely color-coded.
Yes, I thought so. I had a feeling I'm like that. I get criticized a lot. And I know, OT, you're like that as well. We have that in common, right?
Oh, yeah. Color-coordinated calendars. Yo.
They're the ones.
They're my favorite thing.
They're the ones. Amongst those things, guys, how, for those people listening for the first time on and hearing about the World Transplant Games, what can you tell us about it to kind of raise awareness on the educational part of it?
Do you want to take this one, or do you want me to?
Go. You're the team manager. So, Katie, all you.
All right, sure. Well, the World Transplant Games is an Olympic-style week-long sporting event that is actually exclusively for people who have received organ transplants, living donors, and family members of donors. Because as athletes, we don't qualify to participate in any other international level events because of the medications that we take. There's no category for us in things like the Paralympics and that sort of event. So they just decided to create their own. And it's been going on now for 47 years. This year, it will be held in Dresden in Germany. 2 years ago, it was in Australia. They do Summer Games every 2 years, and then on the alternating years, they have a Winter Games. So it's very similar to the Olympics. Different countries send their teams, and we compete to see who's the best.
I like that.
And at the same time, we are raising awareness about organ donation, about healthy lifestyles, and prevention of organ failure, and celebrating second chances.
Love that. Love that. That could be the title of the show, Celebrating Second Chances. OT, for you, you've been through quite a lot to get to this stage now, and you've spoken about it, and I've seen you talk at different events, different seminars regarding this. How much can we celebrate you reaching this point now where you are representing the UAE after what you've been through to get to where you are as an athlete, but more importantly as a person today?
So I think there's a lot to celebrate, many things to be grateful for, because the whole experience has not been an easy one either, right? The surgeries alone, the medication, and dealing with just coming back to life after such surgeries has been a challenge. Obviously, I think I've just had the privilege of time, right? My first surgery was in 2010, so I've put in the years with this lifestyle, and I think that I don't do a good enough job of celebration. I think we spoke about this at an event I saw you yesterday, actually, right? And Reem, my business partner, said it best. She's like, we've done a good job in creating an amazing group of friends around us that we celebrate each other because we don't do a good job celebrating ourselves. Yeah. And Reem said it best, where that your friends are, they celebrate the moments that you forget to see, right? So to your question, I think it's been playing in my mind since yesterday, and I think it is important for us to continuously celebrate each other. Yeah. And it is important for us to celebrate. So this is a huge milestone that I'm very excited about. But also being myself of constantly just chasing the next thing. I'm like, also, it'll be a much more fun celebration with golden medals, but we'll get there. That'll be like phase 2.
No pressure at all.
None.
Speaking about that, you had to wait, was it 5 years between
both surgeries?
Yes.
6. Yeah.
That's obviously shaped you to where you are today. Would you change anything about that?
No. I've thought about this a lot. I think that who I am after my surgeries is a very different person of who I was before my surgeries. And I think I'm very grateful to who I am today. It has shaped a lot of my identity. I credit it to being a rebirth, if you will, because you have to face and address some very dark moments that you never thought you'll see or have to deal with. In my case, I began with facing that at 21. I mean, yes, I've had kidney issues my whole life, but I think once you go through the surgery and the realization that you're never normal, in the sense your life is always tied to these medications, you think and plan for things that an average person would never have to worry about. Yeah. And that made me, I'm very grateful for those moments, because it truly gave me not only the opportunity, but also it gave me a way to reflect back and understand myself differently. And it helped me mature in a very different way than I thought I would. And that has opened my eyes and my life to new things and to being able to live my life to the fullest. And I think if you remove the tension and you remove the stressors and the challenges that came with the surgery and all the downs that came with it, the ups don't feel as good. You know what I mean? I get you. So I wouldn't change anything. I think I'm very grateful for the way it turns out.
Yeah. Katie, before we take a break, and is it your first time on radio?
It is.
Yes, yes. I wanted to say that on camera. Yes. Thank you for taking the time out to come on the show. You said prevention, and I know we always wait till it's cure time. Right. How do we kind of flip that narrative to be able to allow people to focus more on the prevention part?
Sure. A lot of instances where people need an organ transplant could be prevented by lifestyle changes. Not smoking, not eating fried food all the time, exercising regularly, taking care of your blood pressure, drinking water instead of Red Bull. All of these things keep your organs healthy for a much longer time. It's I've read a statistic recently. It's something like 1 in 5 women and 1 in 4 men will, at some point in their lives, go into chronic kidney disease. And it's not genetics, it's lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
So if we can focus on making healthy choices in our daily lives, then we can live healthier for much longer.
Yeah, brilliant. Man, and that was only the first segment. Mom, if you're listening, I told you it was going to be good. Auntie Rima, I know you're listening. It's going to be even better. You know what? Let's give you some time to kind of let that marinate, and we'll be right back with more on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. The halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. What a first segment we had in store for you. And now I want to dive into the real nitty-gritty stuff, the stuff that gets me going personally, because I want to know what you guys are doing training-wise, nutrition-wise, rest-wise, recovery, with all the things and the responsibilities that you have, Katie and Omar. Omar, I'm going to start with you this time. Training-wise, I've watched the training you do.
Yeah.
I see you do your thing. That was way before, so it didn't just start now. So let's just put that out there.
Fair.
Yeah?
That is true. That is true. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But what kind of training and what kind of nutrition have you had to adjust, seeing now that you are going to be competing, representing the UAE?
Yeah, so it took a pivot. That, to your point, I've been training for years,
Yeah.
and right now there's a pivot that had to happen because technically you go kind of do the off season to on season.
Yeah.
And I went from, your usual 2 days of legs a week and 2 days of upper body and kind of take 3 days off or 5-6 days, right? And that formula pivoted to now I got 2 days on the track, which mainly would focus on mechanics, explosion, and speed because
Yeah.
I'm sprinting, right?
Yeah.
And the other days that are spent in the gym, so those are 3 days on track right now. The other days I have left are 2 upper body days, so I kind of got to fit all my upper body work in those 2 days, as well as a plyometrics and an explosive strength training day for legs in the gym to complement what I'm doing on the track as well. So
Okay.
it's quite intense. I'm averaging 6 to 7 days. I'd rather not, but that's the work.
Yeah. And Katie, we spoke about the prevention side of things, but also what people sometimes tend to bend if they're not competing at the levels that you guys are competing is the nutrition part of things.
Right.
So with the nutrition part, we spoke about the obvious things of staying away from processed foods and fried foods, etc. But what have you really taken notice about getting optimal performance levels up when it comes down to nutrition?
Sorry.
That's okay.
I focus a lot on my protein intake.
Right.
And I focus on high energy whole grains.
Right.
I don't actually often have time to eat during the school day
Yes.
because I'm teaching from morning to afternoon.
Yeah.
So I make whole oats as overnight oats with chia seeds every night and take them to school with me. Bananas, protein bars, things like that. And then usually my main meal is dinner.
Okay.
And I make sure that there's protein and everything that should be in there in there for dinner.
Yeah. Are the containers colored as well?
They're not.
I'm just teasing her. I just met her, by the way, but it seems like we go way back. So I'm allowed to tease her. You guys aren't allowed to tease her. I'm allowed to tease her. With those things, obviously, we talked about the importance of fitting in the training and fitting in the nutrition. And then, Omar, I'm going to go back to you regarding this because I find it hard for you to do all those things, plus run your own business, plus do the media, plus do all that. Yeah. What's the sleep like, Omar? Talk to me now.
Yo, so I am... You know how people talk about boundaries?
Yeah.
This was mine. Like, I am unapologetic about my sleep schedule.
Okay.
And I've been for the past few years. So it worked well in that sense. So, because my family is accustomed to it at this point. I think the changes now is that I started pulling my sleep time at like half an hour earlier, especially on run days, because we're on the track at 5:30 a.m. Right. So, yeah, see, I'm non-apologetic about it. 9:30, I'm out. I'm not available. Do not invite me to things that happen after 7 p.m.
Right.
I won't be there.
Yeah.
At least give me time till September. Once I'm back after September, I'll show up. But between now and then, a lot gets sacrificed. You know
Yes.
what I mean? But sleep cannot be what you're sacrificing.
Right. And that's why Auntie Reem's there, because then she gets to do the stuff that you can't do.
Exactly, which I'm very grateful for.
She's amazing. She's
Shout out
amazing.
to Auntie Reem.
I just threw her under the bus as well and said she has to do the stuff that you can't do. But hey, again, I can because I know them like that. Okay,
Yeah.
back to you now, Katie. What I want to talk to you about is we spoke about the idea of training. We spoke about the idea of nutrition. We spoke about the idea of sleep. But what about the recovery? And what I mean by that is the things you have to do to maintain the levels of performance. What kind of stuff are you doing for that?
Well, making sure that you sleep. It's always important for recovery.
Yeah.
We are using supplements from Pillar Performance.
Okay.
They have a triple magnesium recovery supplement.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then obviously, of course, making sure that you're taking in electrolytes
Yeah.
during training and
Yes.
post-training
Yes.
to replenish everything that you lose
Absolutely.
when you're sweating.
Yeah.
And especially for us, because the medication is so hard on our kidneys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
That we have to make sure that we're so careful about hydration, maybe even more than a normal athlete would.
Correct. I mean, the basics now, for example, how people talk about how creatine is great for you and this 5 versus 10 milligrams
Yes.
of creatine a day in fitness
Yes.
for your mental performance. That is not an option.
Yes.
For somebody like me that's post-transplant, that can cause kidney inflammation,
Yes.
right? And there is nothing worth risking your kidneys at that point. You know what I mean? So it's somebody was asking the other day, it's like, oh, are you guys going to get tested, right? For like, any boosters and things like that. I'm like, we're
And
not
we
gonna
already take steroids.
We cannot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's such a good
We're so
point, by the way.
medicated as
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
right? That you cannot risk taking any supplement that has the slightest degree of impacting the organ
Yeah.
that you have
Function, yeah.
received,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
We
Yes.
have to be really
So
careful.
yeah, it's tough. Like you have to be very meticulous about what you take and what you don't take and
Yes.
how do you take it. Like for example, because Katie is post-liver transplant, the
Yeah.
medications she takes will get secreted through her kidney.
Right.
But because I'm kidney transplant, post-transplant, the medications I take for anything needs to get secreted through my liver instead.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
So
yes,
you
yes.
also, our doctors have to think about that more than we do.
God, that's such an eye opener.
Yeah.
Well, and the dosage of anti-rejection medication that I take to keep my body from rejecting my liver is actually very dangerous for my kidneys. And before I was even released from the hospital, my surgeons told me, you need to drink water all the time. You need to be averaging at least 3 liters a day because at the levels of medication that you're taking, if you are dehydrated, you are going to fry your kidneys faster, and we'll be seeing you for a kidney transplant within 5 years.
Wow, that's unreal. And as a listener or even as a host listening to you, I am more likely to trust what you guys are doing
Yo.
than your average athlete because of how much care
Yeah.
and education is behind what you're doing.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
that for me is what's very unique about the type of athlete and people that you are. And leading on to that, I'm going to dive into the type of people you are because I'm sure you get asked about athletes all the time. We'll take a quick break, and when we're back, we'll have more fantastic content with Omar T and, of course, Katie Larkins.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Speed. So good. So
good.
So good. I
wasn't
just smiles.
expecting
The smiles on the face just shows how good of a beat it was. All right, okay. So we're having a good time here on the halftime show. Thank you very much to Katie and OT for coming down. I've really had a good time here with you guys. And I want to talk about support because support is massive, especially on raising awareness on what you guys do and everything. How important, I'm going to start with Katie, how important has support been for you in the journey to leading up to the World Transplant Games?
I mean, it's incredibly important. We've needed support in every step of the journey, between support getting the word out in the first place with PR. We were really lucky to have Sticky Ginger sign us for free. Support with training, support with supplements, just support paying the very expensive registration fees in Germany. We've been really lucky that we've been able to get as much support as we have, being that this is the first time that we're ever going. You know, most of the time, the first time you do something, you have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
But we've really seen that there are a lot of people in the UAE that believe in us, that want us to succeed. We're training in warehouse. They've given us complimentary packages in the gym until the games. We're supplementing with Pillar. Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi has covered all of our registration and accommodation fees, our travel insurance, everything that we had to pay directly to the organizers in Germany. Cleveland Clinic covered it for us.
Wow. Okay.
We got a few. I mean,
we've been incredibly lucky.
Yeah, Warehouse Gym covered us. We've got AIS Athletics. Coach Tommy his street name is Torture Tommy for a reason. Shout out to them as well, because there's a mental support, but also a sports performance element that comes with it as well. And he wants to make sure that he's getting us in the best possible shape for the games, and he's non-apologetic, which I love about him as well.
Shout out to Torture Tommy. I bet you didn't think I was going to say that on radio,
right? and as she mentioned, we got Warehouse, Sticky Ginger supporting us, and also Tribunals.
Okay.
And Chop 'em Down Films from Abu Dhabi. They're making a documentary, which
nice.
I'm super hyped about. These guys are some of the most creative people I've ever got to see work. They did our photo shoot that came out last week.
Great photo shoot, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out to them. It was full of energy, just awesome people that like to come together and do cool things. And also now, MediClinic is supporting us with what's the term? Sports medicine.
Okay.
And physiotherapy sessions. So. Finally, because I've had some injuries that I'm like, hopefully we get to work these out.
I'll tell you what, no injuries. Let's get the Asa prayer going. We'll be right back.
This is the halftime show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. I wish I could be recording what they're saying off air, because we went places. You saw amazing. The team manager, the athlete. Hey, he's talking about us, and he's like, "Oh, he's talking about us," and then just kept going. I love that.
It just spiraled.
Yeah, it was amazing. All right, so now I want to dive into. I want to dive into the people behind the athletes that are representing the UAE World Transplant Games, because for me, we always talk about the athletes and the amazing stuff they're doing, but I want to ask. OT, I'm going to start with you this time.
All right.
I want to ask how you unwind. And that's why I'm playing a great track, by the way. God, I'm on form today. I want to ask how you unwind. How do you reset, OT?
So my reset usually means going offline.
Okay.
And whether it's I'm staying locally or I'm leaving town, it's just being offline. I am the kind of person that practices like mini vacations in my day.
Okay.
Because as a business owner as well, I do so much in my day that I have to disconnect. I need time to like reset mentally, and there's a mental fatigue versus a physical fatigue as well that you navigate throughout the day. So creating moments for those. So for mental fatigue, I usually want things that very lighthearted, that are silly, that are quirky. I'm happy going to the movies, watching a comedy, memes online. Like my scrolling on social media is quite intentional in that sense. Like I want to see funny things. Like I don't want to think about it too much. Right. And I will do that for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it because that's my, sort of just switching my mind off a little bit time.
Right.
Just like sleeping or whatever. But also, I also disconnect. Like I read a lot. I'm a nonfiction novel reader. I enjoy those a lot. I like to read about other people. So there's that. But also, time for my prayers. Like my salah 5 times a day is huge. So that is not only a physical disconnection, but also a mental and a spiritual, and it grounds me. And then I'm good to go till the next one kind of thing. So it's being able to intentionally allow for these moments in my day for spirituality, for physical recovery, for mental recovery, time with family. For me, mandatory lunch I will eat with my family almost every day if I can, because that's the time that I'll reconnect with them. And so it kind of takes me away from everything else as well. So these moments have been very not only they help me reset, but it helps me come back to, it grounds me and it gives me the energy that I need to keep going. So I think those are my key ones.
Love that. I love the word intentional as well. The intent behind that is great. And Katie, with you again, many things that you do. Yeah. Okay, including having the first show under your belt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Yes. I like that. How do you reset?
I mean, it really depends on the day. It depends what else I have going on. I do always try to have a bit of time to unwind and kind of cool down before I go to bed. I sleep pretty early. I have to make sure that I have some couch time with my cat.
Okay.
He gets very selfish about my attention when I've been gone all day.
Right.
I sing really loudly in my car.
Stop it.
Yeah.
We're going to get an exclusive now.
Definitely. I am just getting over a cold, so maybe not today, but
we'll get that later.
I mean, if I've had an incredibly frustrating day at school and I've just reached my limit, my half an hour drive home is just me scream singing at the top of my lungs.
What
in
are
the
we
car.
belting out?
Yeah.
What are we singing? What kind of music are we singing?
Honestly, it really depends.
Adele?
I mean, no.
Whitney?
I like Adele, but that's not...
Alicia Keys?
No. See, for me to run, I have to be really angry.
Okay.
I'm a sunshiny, happy person.
Hey, I'm not doubting that.
But if I'm going to run, I need to be really angry. And if I'm stressed out, I need to be able to channel that into something. And when I'm commuting home, I can't channel that into a run. Right. So I scream, Bring Me the Horizon or Linkin Park or
Linkin Park,
Bullet for My Valentine in my car.
Okay.
I like that.
Hey, listen, I am expecting, now that we're BFFs, I'm expecting a voice note within the next week when you clear up your voice of some Linkin Park. I'm talking like top grade Linkin Park.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
notes.
definitely.
For where can we follow you guys and how can we keep track of all the amazing stuff you guys are doing? OT, where do I... All
right, so for the team, we are at UAE Transplant Athletes. Just one word. We're only on Instagram right now because, again, just bandwidth about creating the whole spectrum of social media. So we can find us at UAE Transplant Athletes across on Instagram. For me personally, it is at OT Official across all social media and digital platforms.
Yeah.
Mine is the Expat Organ Lady.
Like that.
To be honest, from UAE Transplant Athletes Instagram page, you can find all of the athletes tagged in our group and individual photos that we've done for the team. So you can follow all of the athletes, not just us.
Yes, please do follow. I've followed most of them.
Yeah, and there are 6 of us, by the way.
Yeah. I followed most of them, and to be honest, I felt this warmth towards you guys. Really, I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think it's spectacular. It's nice to get to know the people behind the actual athletes and superheroes that you guys are, because I think it's super important for people to be able to relate and raise awareness on such important things bigger than sport, even though we're using sport to get that message out there.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful that you guys came on the show. Thanks so much for taking time out to come.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for inviting us.
I'm so happy you finally did this. Thank you, man. Honestly.
When are we coming back?
Hey, I like the way she's thinking. Hey, you can come back anytime. You're welcome on my show anytime. That is the final whistle is about to go of the halftime show. Remember, you can catch it every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. If you do miss the show, don't worry. You can catch all of our episodes on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or if you prefer a visual, want to see these wonderful faces, head over to our YouTube channel on Pulse 95 Radio, and you get to see the whole episode on there. Guys, you've been fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Love you, man. Appreciate it.
It has been. Take care, guys. Stay blessed. And up next is Youngblood, 5 Seconds of Summer. Katie, when you're ready to belt out those tunes, we're going to go.
Okay, yeah, sure.